Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So welcome to this part 4 for the Python interview series. Now basically we are going to see the next questions that in Python interview. Basically what are the most asked questions and how to deal with that questions, how to give the answers of that question. Basically all those things we are going to understand today. So let's begin now with the very first question for now, and that is basically what are the built-in types of Python. Now basically the question here is that what are the built-in types of Python. So many of you must be saying that okay, what is actually meant from built-in types. I haven't heard this till now, and basically I haven't studied this in Python and some things like that. But if you just understand the word that's built-in types very carefully, so you'll be getting to know that here it is actually asking you that what are the built-in data types of Python. Not types of Python, what actually we can just say from here, right? So types means that what are the kind of data which we can give, right? This is only what just basically come under the built-in types. So in that case, Python is having a concept which is of the data types, right? So in that case, now we just need to define out that what are the built-in data types of Python, right? So this is the meaning of that particular question. So it's not given very directly that what is the data types in Python, but it is basically asking in a very indirect way that what are the built-in types of Python. So you just need to be very careful about this thing that it will not ask you the things in a very direct way, okay? It will not basically give you that tell me the data types of Python. That will be a very simple question, right? But this is a little bit of tricky type question, right? So let's begin now with the answer here. And the answer for this question, let's write out that and see how to give out the answer for this question. So I'll be starting from that particular sentence only which is in the question, okay? So that is built-in types in Python built-in types in Python are are as follows. Okay, so I'm just writing out all of the built-in data types in Python, right? So number one is basically my integers. We know that integers is the one which is built-in data type. Other than that, we have float numbers. So for that, for like giving the answer in a more good way, you can just write that floating point. Okay, simply just do not write that float numbers. If you just want to give your answer in a very better way, in a very good way, so you can just name that as floating point. Okay, moving towards the third number, we have basically complex numbers. Okay, so complex, I'll just write here complex and then the numbers, write this. Then moving towards the fourth, we have the strings, and then moving towards the fifth, we have the Boolean values. Boolean values actually refer to my true and false, right? And moving at the last one, we have built-in functions. So that is built-in, and simply I'm just writing a short form of functions, right? So these are the built-in types of Python which we actually have. So built-in means that basically which are already there, right? We just do not need to define them or give a particular syntax for writing those things. These are already declared in Python. Python actually already have these things, right? We just need to use out these. Now built-in functions basically mean that these are the functions which are already defined by the Python. The code for these functions are already written, right? What we just need to do is that simply call the function, give out the values, and the function has been performed whatever we were just basically trying to do, right? This is actually what is built-in function. We have basically functions of two types, that is built-in and the user defined. So here actually the built-in types are actually are. So in that case we'll be only and only listing about the built-in function. It means that the functions which are already there. We do not need to define the functions. We simply need to call out that built-in functions, and our work is done basically whatever we are just wishing to do, right? And other than that, we have data types that are built in here, and that are basically integers, float, complex number, strings, and the booleans, right? These are the built-in data types also which we have here, right? So this is about the answer of this question, that what are the built-in types of Python programming language, right? I hope just you got the idea that how to answer out this question. Right, now let's move on to the next question for now, and just let me go down so that I can just like look at the next question. Fine. Now my next question says that you need to write out that what is the usage of help and dir functions in Python. Okay, so basically these are two functions in Python which is actually help and dir. Now the question asks is that basically let me know that what is the usage of both of these functions, right? So let's start answering out these questions, and let's see that basically what's the use of help and dir function. So I would just write here the first of all the name for the help, and other than that the dir. Just let me write that thing here. So here it goes, help and dir. Please make sure that do not like if it basically comes in the written down, that basically you need to write out the answer for this question. So please make sure to put the brackets and look out these very small things which are actually here. Okay, these look like that they are very small, but they are actually very important, because after functions it's always a rule, even not in only Python, in any other language also it's a rule that you need to put out the bracket. So just do not forget out that things here. Okay, so help and dir are both functions, and basically they are accessible, are both functions, comma, they are accessible. So I would just write the spelling for accessible here. Okay, they are accessible from the Python interpreter. Okay, so first of all you need to understand that basically these two functions are accessible with from the Python interpreter. Fine, the very first thing that you need to have the look of. So in this form, another question can occur, that let me know two functions that are accessible for the Python interpreter. So in that case you can just give out these two very exact answers, that is help and dir functions. Okay, so accessible from the Python interpreter and used for, and basically what is the use of this? Okay, and I will just write that the used for viewing. So viewing. Okay, so in that case I was just writing here consolidated. Okay, so I'm just like writing a common thing between both of these functions which we have. After that we'll be differentiating also that what is the main use of help and main use of dir. Here I'm just telling you a common use of both of these. Okay, I'm just summarizing that thing in the very starting, right? And used for viewing consolidated dump built-in functions. Dump built-in built in function. Built-in functions, you know, right? You just right now talking about these functions in a little while, right? We just talked about this in the above question. Now let's directly understand that's what's the use of the help and the dir function. So help comes here for the first one. Okay, now I'd be letting you know that this help function is used to display, it is used to display the documentation string, display the documentation string. It is used for displaying out the documentation string, and also facilitates you to see the help related to modules, comma, keywords, help related to modules, keywords, attributes, etc. Okay, I'm just writing that etc here. Right, now let me just define that what is the help function actually used for. So the very first and even the main use of the help function is actually that it helps us to display the documentation strings. Okay, and even it helps us to see the documentation, the like write up that actually what does function do, what does module do, what does actually keyword does, and all that things we are able to see with the help function. Now let me give you a clear idea for this. Let's say we have a NumPy library in Python programming language, right? We have this library. So it is basically used in that NumPy library. So whenever we just use that NumPy library, let's say we are using any function from that. So what we do, we very first of all, we just write help. Okay, and then in the bracket we just write out that basically help, and after that we just write out the function name, that what we're just gonna use. So as soon as we just run out the program, so that basically results as the whole documentation of that particular function which we have written. It tells us that what that function do, it tells us the syntax, it tells us that what are the parameters, it tells us that what parameters values you can give, it tells us that what it returns, even it will tell you some similar functions like that, and even it will basically give you some examples as well. Okay, so all of these things are possible only and only with the use of this help function, right? So this help function is used to display the documentation string and also facilitates you to see the help related to modules, keywords, attributes, and etc. Right? So this is a very like important use of this help function. Right? Let's move on to the next function, and that is basically the dir. Right? Let me write that second here, and the dir function. Now let's see that what is this used for. So the dir function is used, it is used to display the defined symbols, the defined symbols. So whenever you just want to see and like basically display the defined symbols, so in that case basically this dir is the function which is actually used, right? So the dir function is used for displaying the defined symbols, right? So basically this is the use of both of these functions. The first one was the help and the second one is the dir. So help is basically used to see the and display the documentation string, and dir is used to display the defined symbols, right? I hope that you had got an idea that what are these actually used for, right? Okay, so here goes our third question for now, and that is basically, right, now my question here is that how you can generate random numbers in Python. Random numbers, a very interesting and even very important topic, right? So this random is one of the module which is like used in many of the programs, and it's basically this module is very helpful, right? It is basically used as for generating some random values. It is used for generating some random numbers, and all those things are performed by this function only, right? Let's see in detail that how you can just answer this question, that how can you generate random numbers in Python. So as I mentioned that it is used for generating random numbers, so I'm just not writing that. So if you just want to use out this module, so the very first thing that you do is that you write import, and after that you write out the random. This is how you just import the random module, okay? Now after that you just need to write random dot random. Now what does this actually random dot random means, which I have just written here, right? Now we'll be like understanding the meaning and the use of this random dot random. So basically this random dot random, let me put out the bracket right here. So basically it is a method for returning the floating point numbers, okay? This random dot random, it is a method for returning the floating point numbers. Let me just write it here that it is a method. It is a method for returning. It is a method for returning the floating point numbers. Okay, it is a method for returning the floating point numbers, and basically it also have a range, comma, and I will just write here the comma range is and large bracket 0 comma 1 and then this small bracket like this. Okay, so basically it is a method for returning the floating point numbers and range is this much. Okay, now this function generates the random float numbers, right? So this is actually used for generating the random float numbers, right? Now, and these all are the like functions which are defined under the random class. Okay, now let's see some another functions of the random module as well. So let me just firstly write out the first function, that is rand range. Rand range, and as from the word like name only you can just understand that what is this actually used for rand range. So basically it chooses an integer and defines the rate that range that between this much of range you just want some like random integer value. Okay, this is the use of this rand range function. Okay, let me write out that thing here so it is more clear, clear to you. So I'll be writing that it chooses an integer. It chooses an integer, integer and define the range between a comma b. As I mentioned that a comma b will be the range. Okay, and what does it returns? So it basically returns the elements. It returns the elements by selecting it randomly from the range specified. Okay, it returns the elements by selecting it randomly from the, I would just come down from the, and I would, okay, from the, and right here it is range. Okay, from the range, right? So this is actually what is the use of this rand range function a comma b. Fine, let's take out the second one, and that is basically here, which is uniform. Okay, uniform a comma b. Okay, what is the use of this function? So it actually also chooses a floating point number, and that is basically defined in a range, and that range is basically a comma b. So it will basically return me the floating point values. Okay, so I'm just not writing that thing here. Let me just again repeat it that what it does actually. So it basically choose a floating point number between the defined range which you are having, and it returns you a floating point number. Okay. Now, next basically what do I have here? So after that, basically these are some like random functions which you can just list out and which you can just use out, right? So what was our question? Actually, so our question was that, let me just see that how you can generate random numbers in Python. Okay, so these are the two methods with which you can just generate out the random method. Let me just list out some one or two more methods. Okay. Okay. So third one is basically it is normal and normal variate, variate, and in the bracket it is mean comma standard deviation. Okay, it basically like a part type of a little bit statistical and all those things it actually applies. Okay, basically now what it is used for, so this function is actually used for the normal distribution. Okay, it is basically used for the normal distribution, right? And basically where mean you know and standard deviation you know, and that is basically used for the standard deviation, right? It is used for finding out the normal distribution. So I would just write used for normal and then here distribution, like this only. Okay, another one in the random one. Okay, moving towards the fourth, so basically the random class is basically it is used and it creates the multiple random number generators, right? This is about the random class which we've already discussed, right? So these are some functions which you can use for finding out some random numbers and all those things, right? So I hope that you are very much clear with this answer. Fine, let's come on to the next question and let's see another one here. So my next question goes here, that is indentation required in Python? Yes, very important and very main question, that is indentation required in Python. Now, basically what will be the answer for this question, that yes, indentation is actually required in Python, right? Now, why it is actually required, so that you all basically actually know that why it is actually required. So, you have studied about the for loops, you have studied about the while, you have studied about the if else elif condition, you have studied about the functions, you have studied about all of these topics, right? So in that basically what's the main thing that plays a role, that is indentation, right? Basically giving some tab spaces, giving a particular tab space, making the proper indentation, right? Let me write out the answer as well, that will be more clear. So I'll be writing yes, indentation is necessary in Python. That yes, indentation is necessary in Python, right? Now basically other than this, I'll be just letting you know. So basically what we just meant from indentation, first of all define that thing. So it specifies a a block of code. Okay, this is the definition, that what is indentation. So for that you can just give out this answer, that it specifies a block of code. Okay, now all the codes which are written in the classes, functions, while loops, for loops, if else condition, all of these are basically they all use the indentation, that is indent block, right? So basically in indentation we usually give four tab spaces. Four tab spaces is the like you can just call it as the used one. Okay, that four tab spaces are actually used in the indentation, right? And basically if your code is not indented properly, so in that case it will not execute properly and it will throw you the error. Let's say you have just missed some indentation, or basically you have not written the proper indentation, or you have not written the proper statements in the indentation. If you have not done any of these things, then your program will surely result you the error. Okay, so this is the whole idea for the indentation, and yes, indentation is very important and very necessary in the Python programming language, right? Let's move on to the next question for now. And now my last question for today is that how is Python an interpreted language? Okay, but how is Python an interpreted language? So let's see that question for now. So let me just write out that thing here, that an interpreted language, what do we just firstly mean from the interpreted language? So an interpreted language is any programming language, is any programming language, it is any programming language which is not in machine level code, which is not in machine level code before, which is not in machine level code before runtime. Okay, before runtime. So the an interpreted language is an programming language which is not in machine level code before runtime, right? Therefore, okay, so I can just write here that therefore Python is, let me just come down. Therefore Python an an interpreted language, okay. So this is the answer for this particular question. Let me just go above and once again explain you the answer for this question. So basically, how we can just say that Python is an interpreted language. So in that case, first of all, you need to explain that what actually you just meant from interpreted language. So it is a programming language which is not in machine level code before runtime. Okay, so basically this is the answer for the interpreted language. And after that, yes, Python is an interpreted language. Fine. So basically, these were the 5 questions that we have discussed today. So the first question was that what are the built-in types of Python? Okay. Second question was that what is the usage of help and dir function in Python. Third was basically how can you generate random numbers in Python. Then it was, is indentation required in Python? And the fifth one was that how is Python an interpreted language? Right? So these were the 5 questions that we had seen today, and I hope that you have basically got the clear idea regarding all of these 5 questions, that how to answer out these questions, what are the concepts, and even with these questions only we have just revised out some topics as well, right? So we'll be seeing some more questions in the next video. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care. Take care.